debate. I hope everyone brings that same energy when we get ready for the actual game to start, because it seems like the game is, in fact, starting. This is no deception.
Are you going to bamboozle him again?
No bamboozle, Dave, because we're in the action. Let's go. Game 1 between Denial Status Quo here on Heretic.
Yep, Neighbor sitting back, starting off the game at his base, just trying to make sure nobody gets a flank over on his side. And I really like this route. I think in most other cases, players, once they sit at level 2 of their base and lay down some shots across the map, most cases are going to go to like car 2 or towards Pink Tower. I really like that route from Neighbor. He was going to put himself in a position towards bottom car where he could either flank up and get a flank on someone going towards car 2 if his teammates had stayed alive, or if his teammates had died, he would put himself in perfect position to flank all the way towards bottom base of Denial.
Well, it looks like Status Quo are looking to establish dominance early on in this game, as they are going to put the first point on the board. Quo out of the gate, and that came from a strong double kill that Neighbor was able to line up on car side. And that allowed Flamesword to be able to march that flag on through. Now we're all at 1-1. Bench opportunity, and that was a great nade there, but it did not take out that player quite yet.
No, it did not take out the player, but here's those movement times I was talking about, though, GB. That was one of those times where Assault, if he's just slightly a little bit slower or slightly missed that jump over towards Pink 3, he would have died so much quicker. He eventually was taken down there by a second party. However, point being is he's making 2 players take him down. That is always a rule of thumb that I hold true to in Halo. If you can consistently make the opposing team need 2 players in 2 different angles to take you down, you're forcing them to always be in the right position. And more often than not, they're not going to have that second angle to finish you off.
Yeah, you're taking away shots in another area that could be just as effective. So that right there, it just speaks volumes for how these players are attacking this. And now Denial, a couple members down. Flamesword's going to run this flag again. This is looking like it's going to be number 2 now, Walshy. He's got the coverage. He's got the support. And that will do it. Number 2 on the board here on Heretic.
Lord Farquaad running that OBJ so hard right now. Flamesword, always known for that, though, with that old roster. If you thought about it, I dissected how Status Quo played back in the day because I had the privilege of landing against them multiple times, and there was multiple times where they won the majority of the games at our lands, and I was kept trying to figure out, like, all right, they always have these natural tendencies that work so well for them. So when I look at the way that Status Quo plays, I would look at Flamesword. I was like, all right, he's mainly their objective player. He's also a great kind of mid-range player where he's always ready to back up one of his teammates. You have someone like Assault who's very attuned with getting up front and center, starting some of that action play. So I would consider like Assault and Flamesword some of those action starters, and then Enable. And this is the role that Neighbor's filling, is he was always that flanker. He was always the one that was, on top of power weapons. He was always happily going to flank and be in that perfect spot as he's taking like that sneaky route under the map. And then Ace was generally in some sort of power position / power weapon controller.
And
it feels like these guys have not changed in 10 years. And then why change the recipe?
Yeah,
if the recipe tastes great, keep
like
it going.
Mrs. Field cookies, which you used
Field's
to work
cookie.
for, But yes, and that just goes to say, right, like even though it's been years and years later, the roles, the jobs that everyone had still remains the same. Now, I'll be remiss to mention that Denial, they have managed to capture that flag. That came off the back of 4 members of Status Quo going down at the same time, and then Denial were able to run that flag in. As soon as they got all 4 down, they reacted right away. Did not miss a step there. Now, though, the action starts to heat up once again, and Flamesword manages to take out Straight Sick over in P2. That's going to be 2 members of Denial down here. Let's see how they're going to play this one out. As they're hanging out on car side, players are going to also come off of the respawn, but they're losing a lot of bodies as this continues on. Every single time that Denial wants to try and make a clean push together, they simply can't, because Status Quo, they're taking them off, picking them off one by one, and that is preventing Denial from being able to move forward.
Yeah, so Status Quo was doing a great job of that earlier.
Now, here we
go. For the first time, we're kind of seeing them on the defensive. Flamesword getting a huge kill over level 2 of space. Those kills cannot be overstated. You are stopping that flag run for a good 5 or so seconds. That's allowing one of your teammates to now respawn and get back into action, just like Assault was able to. return the favor and get another flag recovery.
I was talking about Denial not really able to get players up and be able to push that base, but once they managed to do so, they got right in Status Quo's face, and Status Quo had to play that defense, which is what you said. Very weird to just see Quo kind of held back like that. Nice play from Flamesword, though. Chucks that nade down. As soon as that player jumps in, he's able to hit him immediately in the face. Picks him off now. You see that guy. He's going to have no shields. His teammate should be there for the pickup. That's Ace. Another one in front. Straight Sick gets the beat down. And wise enough from Straight Sick. Staying alive. But, oh, the great play there from Neighbor. It's just going to drop him and be able to give them some more progress here on the map if he could drop commonly, of course.
The other thing I really loved that we saw for a split moment there on Flamesword's death screen is he just had his death cam locked on that player over at his car side. Just let his teammate know this player isn't left yet, or he's always gonna give his teammates the best knowledge and best calls he possibly can.
I love how these players, they're ripping the attention away from other areas. Like Neighbor, he spent so long having to deal with that player by the bubble that he ended up getting double teamed because it took so long, and commonly was making the call. He was saying, I need help, and he got that assistance.
And that's the same mechanic I was talking about earlier. If you can consistently force the opposing team to need two angles to take you down, more often than not, it's going to pay off. You saw how it paid off by Neighbor dying and commonly living.
Yeah, and they now, with this position as it currently stands, Status Quo, they did have some midfield control top mid, but really didn't amount to all that much, which leaves Flamesword and Ace to be the
such a great play right here, though. Flamesword realizing his teammates were down, so he's going to drop towards the bottom of the space. He's going to try to flank as long as possible and buy some time. Ideally, he's going to run the flag opposite way now, if he can run that towards pink, and that's exactly what Flame's going to do. So, reason why this whole play works out, one was he didn't want to be up towards level 2 of the opposing base, because that's going to allow Denial to possibly deal with him, also while being in a strong position. So, if there was someone still over Denial base, Flamesword is going to draw them towards the bottom half of the map where they could not really spawn trap anyone else from Status Quo. Secondly, when Flamesword saw that flag being ran towards Carside, he realized that that means all the members of Denial are over on Carside. So he's going to run the flag towards the opposite half of the map, towards pink, and divert their attention. They are now in a difficult position where they have to distribute their resources and all their players. They now need to have the right amount of players watching their own flag and watching, trying to get the recovery. And because of all that chaos and craziness, they were not able to get the flag all the way back to their base. In fact, Status Quo were able to get a counter cap during that whole crazy scenario, and that all stemmed from Flamesword's amazing play, dropping on the base and running that flag.
It really is just a snowball effect, and you don't consider it at that moment. A lot of players, they wouldn't engage it in that manner. They would just think like, you know, okay, I'm just trying to do something, but so many things, like so many small details lead into another instance, and that makes this game so awesome to watch because you kind of see the effects of just one tiny moment and how that can impact the entirety of the game. And now Status Quo, they're going to be up 3-1 here, and that was a great drop from Neighbor.
That shot was so nasty. They had so many members. One drop towards bottom.
Number 4.
Flamesword did, who was drawing attention. Just saw the other play get melted, and that's going to be flag number 4 for Status Quo.
Status Quo are on a run, and when they cat that flag, it's immediately back to business, putting Denial in their place, in their base, and forcing them to have to go into those battles in really weird spots for them. Meanwhile, Status Quo gets team shots. Now, though, you're going to have Denial. They're going to push inside of the Status Quo base. A double kill for Aries, but he's going to get shut down. 2 players down on each side.
Yeah, but once again, you see how Status Quo are able to trade those out, and I don't want to say consistently, but they've successfully in recent past been able to kill the player who's closest to their flag, which, like I said before, allows one of your teammates to spawn and get back in the action and have an opportunity of stopping the flag. So it's always so crucial when you can kill that player who is closest to the flag.
And that is very frustrating for Denial because they make a big play, they get the double kill, 2 players down, and then boom, just in a matter of an instant, you just don't have the control in the base anymore.
Yep, and to reiterate that a bit more, it's mostly important when they don't have multiple people there. Like if there's one person who's 3 steps away from another person's 5 steps away, it really is negligible if you kill who's closest to flag. It's more so when they are overextended, when they have somebody in prime position to grab the flag while they have people posted up in other power positions. If you kill that person closest to the flag, I would take that more so than killing the person in a power position over at pink.
Flag is going to be in the Denial bubble here. Big win for Commonly as he's going to trade that one out. Is a teammate there for the pickup? Status Quo there. Going to bring that flag out. just a little bit for the time being, but they will have Sword around there. They should be able to make the return happen, and that's going to be number 2 for Denial. They are not out of this game yet at all.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell if Status Quo in that instance were trying to preemptively run a flag early or if they incorrectly ran the flag the wrong way when doing a counter pull. Because when I broke down that play from Flamesword earlier, he ran that flag opposite towards pink, like I said, diverting Denial resources. However, this last time, when you saw Status Quo pulling that flag, they brought that one towards car, the same way that Denial's bringing the flag. Denial doesn't have to distribute the resources. They all can stay car side. They can protect their flag, they can slay Status Quo, and they can get the flag recovery all in one area.
All instant value that they're able to gain from that. Still, though, as the action continues now, we're going to jump over to Ace's perspective, who has the sword. He's lingering around here on the car side. His teammate's going to be running that flag, and because he has that sword, should be able to chop down anyone down to size if they happen to linger around him. Flag's going to be out, and he's going to die to a couple of nades. That's going to come from Shele.
There's a near insta. Neighbor getting that kill over on car side.
I know that made you very excited.
Wasn't officially one, but would make me very happy if I did see one right there.
I've been seeing a lot of the instas throughout the weekend, and I have to say, it's very, very impressive. Yeah, and just to get that coordination and to know like where I need to position that nade so that it flies in this particular direction, it's pretty cool. I particularly like the one at Eli. I like that play, you know, because it's little things, little details you don't really think.
No, it's like I said, instas are one of my favorite parts of Halo.
We know, Dave.
I'm now realizing that you guys treat me like your little cousin at Thanksgiving. He's like, tell me your favorite dinosaur, and I just go talk for 15 minutes towards the wall or something like that as you walk out the room.
Well, I like the Stegosaurus here, and I'll tell you what. Which, factually, Stegosaurus, best dinosaur, hands down. I think I've been making bold statements all weekend, and I'm going to stand by that statement. Stegosaurus, best dinosaur.
Yeah, best dinosaur, and it's
best dinosaur
consists of cornflakes.
Yeah, best cornflakes, Stegosaurus, Denial. This is it. I'm holding on to all these positions, Dave. Nothing's going to stop me. Oh, boy. We're now back on board with the action, though, as Commonly, who's been playing so great this weekend, gets himself a double kill, maybe even another one.
Dang.
Oh, he gets the trade.
He still gets it, though.
Yeah, that's big. That's 3 players that he got by himself, and now Flamesword needs to stay alive here, but he's getting pressured by Denial.
Such great work there from
Flamesword.
As he picks off that second.
Let him know, Poppy. Let him know.
He stands up after that one. Those kills were so huge. He was the last one alive on his team because you obviously saw Commonly get that triple kill. So not only did Flamesword get that first kill at Pink 1, he does a great job staying alive and flanking over towards the front of Denial base. In fact, just says, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to double back and get double kill.
This is Lord Farquaad's kingdom. He shall not be unseated.
Not sure if that area is called the swamp over there, but...
Forget Shrek. We don't like him. Cameron Diaz is cool, though. All right, well, they got to try. Oh, no. Aries. Man, Aries manages to get that double out of that one. And this is going to be Ace falling there, but Neighbor's going to get the return off of a double kill of his own. Another player up above. Doesn't get that stick, but he's going to have support from his teammate and stays alive.
Such a great challenge. The other part about too is he wasn't afraid just to continue to pushing over towards the opposing car side. The reason being is he didn't have to get that flag recovery. It wasn't a threat being grabbed again. But Farquaad bringing back that 5th flag. Status Quo going to win game number 1, 5-2.
What a start for Status Quo, but also for Denial. I do not want to take anything away from them in this game. They played very well. It was just a matter of the small moments, the small details that Status Quo were really able to take advantage of.
Yeah, nothing to take away from them. I mean, Status Quo already took 5 flags away from them. Nothing else to grab.
I know, it's very true, Dave. I mean, yes, you are right, but I want to be, you know, just a kind soul, and I want to be unbiased here because I'm not biased. We're commentators. We can't be biased. Can't be like Elamite. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think like the worst situation for Kyle is if Reciprocity played against Ace and he was commentating. I just wouldn't. I don't think he'd be able to handle that.
It'd be terrible.
That actually would be an implosion in his brain. I love you, Kyle. Okay, so that is going to do it for game number 1. Heretic captured a flag, and let's take a look at some of the replays from that game. I would say this start here from Neighbor was very big. Getting that double kill, which led to Flamesword grabing that flag, bringing it out for cap number 1, and then they were able to run it back again for number 2, and it just seemed like Status Quo, their team play was impeccable, excuse me.
Yeah, it was just incredible all around, but you noticed how the entire time it wasn't like Flamesword was in any sort of threat of getting stopped with that flag. They just had the perfect defense. They had Neighbor pushed up over towards Bubble. They had Assault, who had already checked pink side, and instead reverts back over towards level 2 of his base to lay down shots across the map because they had so much map control.
Heretic had some big moments in that game. Pretty much everyone had a moment. I mean, this play from Flamesword was fantastic. Just great read, throwing the nade down. This was going to be cap number 3 for Status Quo. And again, it's just the details that Status Quo managed to just take advantage of every single time. They get numbers, they push, they know when to play their advantages so well.
Yes, they just did everything very well throughout that last match. There was like the near instant explode. It was so close to an official one. I mean,
I saw your eyes light up for a brief moment.
I was so excited.
I was happy for you, you know, because you finally got to talk about the Stegosaurus, and then and that was your moment. Flamesword popping off, you know, even though he ended up dying.
Did you know instas can also send them up high? did you know instas there's nades that also spawn in front
One
of pink
time
too?
I insted someone and it was great, and
yeah, this other time too. My friend was Roy. He was watching me insta this one time, and
I can't imagine how many lulls are in the chat right now. Just it's all because of you, Dave. That's it. It's this guy right here. Dave probably doesn't even know what a lull emote looks like.
No,
so old, you know. All right, well, let's look at the series layout. And we have, if you're just joining us here, we have Status Quo up 1-0. Dave, I love your seniority and in all its fashion, in all its glory. We have Narrow Slayer for game 2. Heretic captured the flag, went to Status Quo, 5-2. Narrow CTF now. This is going to be a fun one. Right, I think this is probably the first Narrows game I had a chance to commentate. So
Team Slayer, we're going to see who's going to be the sniper from each squad. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be, well, obviously it's going to be Neighbor or Ace. I'm not sure which one.
Probably Ace. I'm going to assume Ace. Yeah, okay. Ace has kind of been their go-to guy for snipes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and Heretic's probably going to grab that for Denial. I would have to imagine.
Yep, I was guessing Heretic as well for Denial, but yeah, it was. I originally was going to say Neighbor for sure, but then, yeah, you bring up the point about Ace, and I'm not entirely sure who they choose out of these two. And looks like GB is wrong because it's going to be Neighbor grabbing the sniper.
Dude, Ace has just been on point, man. Oh, nice shot there. Neighbor didn't see it coming, and he ends up leaving without a face. Follows it up against Flamesword, and he has teammates up, Rockets as well. So you were right, Dave. And I'm sorry for the, you know, that's karma.
Well, I kind of cheated too. I was like, it could be one of these two players. I'm just throwing up like the full coin there and just taking half the odds. One thing I was just going to say, though, during that play when they killed Snipe is, even though I don't think they were able to get the sniper back in their hands, the fact that the sniper was no longer a threat for a moment was what allowed Denial the comfortability to push across the map. So in some cases, it's not so much like, oh, yeah, we have the new power-up, and it's more like, oh, they don't have it in their hands for this moment. We now have safety to roam towards pockets and move across the map. And just one after the other, each just moving across the map as they go flying across the man cannon, commonly putting body shots in them. But unfortunately, I don't think they were able to get any of those cleanups.
Yeah, and the body shots are good. They have value in that it slows down that player from being able to push, right? They have no shields, so they can't really make that play happen, but you don't have anyone there on cleanup duty, so it doesn't really amount to all that much in the end, and that's really just, that's what you need. You need the follow-up in those situations.
Yep, and in most cases you feel like, all right, one person, one shot or man can should be easy to clean up, but yeah,
but that wasn't his job.
Yeah,
that was not
Conley's job.
He was expecting the player behind him off spawn to potentially go in and clean up those players.
At any point when you get a player to one shot and you stay alive and they're like when you put a body shot like that, it's really not your full responsibility. In fact, you probably are doing something wrong if you feel like you need to clean everything up on your own. You need to have more trusted teammates. You and your team need to be in better positions. So I agree, it was not Comley's fault in that situation. I feel like we're spending commonly like he was like some terrible guy in a relationship. Like, it wasn't Comley's fault. You didn't understand the scenario.
It wasn't his fault, Susan. You can't blame him. Just saying. Susan, don't blame commonly. Ace is going to go down 18-17. A very close game here between Status Quo and Denial. It's really been a game of inches between these two squads. Who manages to take? No! Ace!
Oh.
What happened? Aries! He manages to stay alive. He gives him the spangle dangle.
One thing I really liked about Aries, though, in that position, too, is he realized Flame was committing towards that melee. If you can read another player and know they're straight up going for that melee and you just run straight back, it puts them in such a difficult scenario because they're already committed to, you know, just going straight for that punch. And if you can just go straight back like that. You can see how Aries did not commit to the melee at all. They were just able to comfortably land those shots.
I also just want to commend Straight Sick there. Although he was not able to stay alive, Aries and Straight Sick, Aries was supporting him so well and was trying to prevent them from being able to get the sniper, and Aries manages to nail him in the face, shuts him down.
Yeah, for the second time this game, we've seen Denal take out the sniper from Status Quo and then try to make that push across the map. However, every single time they try to make that push, hasn't been a super successful one. I don't know what to credit that to. I mean, whether it's Status Quo members doing a great job laying down shots and executing and getting one of the kills or so, but whole point being that Denal have had a good couple windows of opportunity when they've taken out that power weapon. And when they do finally capitalize on one of those, they're just going to pull ahead even further.
Yeah, and they're up by 5 kills currently. Really looking forward to seeing what the stats are going to be at the end of this game, because the amount of assists have to be absurd. Everyone's been helping each other out. 33-28 now as Flamesword gets the kill on Aries. Commonly, a beautiful angle there is going to slow down Ace's push. Flamesword right in front of him. Does Commonly win this? And Flamesword manages to take out Commonly. Commonly with 10 kills. We're talking about him as the objective player a lot because that's what I've been seeing him do. But I also just, Commonly is a great player. He's a great slayer, and when he's hot, teams need to watch out.
Yeah, he's always been such an aggressive player from when I've watched him, especially throughout Halo 5. So I'm interested to see how this translates to Halo 3, because he doesn't have some of those same move mechanics to get into. First off, to get into trouble.
Yeah,
that's one of the things. If I'm being honest, he's a good boy, but sometimes he hangs around the wrong movement mechanics, and that gets him into trouble. But also, those mechanics always got him out of trouble as well. He was always able to maneuver so effectively and get around corners and stuff. And you don't have that same sort of luxury here in Halo 3, so I'm curious to see how that affects his gameplay, because I'm not as familiar with Commonly in Halo 3.
But even when you go back to the Reciprocity GMS series and you think about that game Slayer Pit, where GMS was playing so aggressive, they were just getting in their base, they were pushing them into the corners, like not letting them breathe. Like, that's kind of what we're starting to see here with Halo 3 and in 2019. Just a lot of aggression and kind of like porting that Halo 5 style almost over to Halo 3. Yes, aggression has always existed in this game, but just the way that the newer generation are embracing it, it's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, obviously, too, these players have so much knowledge built off the history of Halo, so it's some of these players, maybe even if they haven't played Halo 3 nearly as much, they're bringing in so much knowledge from Halo 5 and just understanding of the game.
Halo,
so,
period.
Yep, just straight up good Halo knowledge. So they're gonna play so much smarter. They're gonna do more effective pushes, even better than pushes than we've seen in early 2008, 2009.
And that's going to do it. 50-39 Denial. They're going to take game number 2. Straight Sick with 15, Aries with 14. I mean, these guys were just destroying in that game, and it was a close matchup for a very long time. It was neck and neck. Then after certain moments, and I think it were really the moments that you had the sniper v sniper battle, and Denial were winning those, and they were able to pile on more kills off of those.
Yeah, it's a two-way street. One, they're able to first off obviously get more kills as they push across the map, but they're also constricting how many kills Status Quo are getting. Anytime you have that sniper being just sitting on the ground for 10 to 20 seconds at a time, that's infuriating. Like, that sniper could be getting to a better position. It could be laying down shots across the map. It could be preventing people from getting to pockets, and all those options are just unavailable when that sniper's dead.
I believe Commonly had 12 kills, 16 assists, just putting shots into every single player of Status Quo. Beautiful shots.
That was so dirty, too, because I feel like in Neighbor's defense, I feel like as soon as a player is focused on my teammate through man-can, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go peek over there and shoot. I have a man-can player over there that's distracting for me, and Commonly just hitting some crazy, crazy shots there on man-can side of the map.
Oh, that was another crazy play there from Aries. Flamesword went in there for the challenge. He had no shields, and then Aries followed it up with a beautiful headshot, and that was what we were referencing just a second ago. Those headshots that led to those seconds where the sniper rifle for Status Quo was ineffective, which allowed Denial to be able to control the pace of the game.
Absolutely. So looks like we're going to move on to game number 3. I believe this one's going to be Construct King of the Hill. So we're going to see how this one plays. I mean, I don't know who I strongly favor here based on these last two games. I mean, I used to always go with just like, if I'm watching two teams I'm unfamiliar with, I try to look at, all right, what team won the objective game? And obviously, status quo, we're looking good in that first objective game. So I feel like I'm leaning towards that a bit. But at the same time, too, when we saw power weapons coming into play here, clearly Denial were coming out ahead in nearly every engagement. I don't think I saw a single time where it was like, all right, the sniper here from status quo was shutting down the sniper from Denials. No, it was just Denial nonstop, making more use of those power weapons.
And now that we're in a game type that has power weapons, power-ups, you got to lean on the coaches here. Coach Status Quo, Go Siami, very well-known player, wears a hat all the time. This guy, I mean, it's just, you know, behind the hat's another hat, and that's where his brain is. And he's going to need that big brain in order for him to guide this team to victory here. And they're going to need these BRs to be true. As we start this game, Status Quo Denial, Game 3, knotted up 1-1 here in St. Louis at the Halo Classic.
Yeah, looks like a couple members of Status Quo getting taken out right away. And Sniper in the hands of Aries. Looks like he is trying to get a random angle here, and I would like to see him just instantly lift up close. And thankfully, he does not have the same instinct as me, because he would have met his demise there from that rocket launcher.
And I think Aries knew that as well, bringing the sniper out on the floor and taking a look, seeing if he can help his teammates out as they start to mount their push here. They have 17 points, still early game. And, you know, let's talk about this first hill and at the beginning of the game here, because I've seen it flip-flop a couple times. The teams just get tons of value off of this first hill, and then for a lot of these top teams, not so much the case.
Yeah, generally in almost all King of the Hill game types throughout all of Halos, there's at least one hill that I kind of consider like a scrappy hill. Like when I think of in H2A and Lockdown, there's the top center hill where unless you have all four of the opposing teams dead, or you have like some unreasonable circumstance that you can't really hold for a significant period of time, you're really not going to hold, get a ton of hill time without that. So it's more of a scrappy situation, and by that I mean you're going to go towards the hill, you're going to get maybe 3 to 7 seconds, and you're going to get shot down. Whether that means you die or you have to back down completely, it's one of those two options. And that's what this first hill is on Construct, because players can put pressure on that player in the hill from so many different spots, whether they go from the river, where Conley is currently, and they're in striking distance to take down that player completely, or you can be on either street, you can be in bomb area. You have so many angles across the map just to lay down shots on that player and make them weak enough where they cannot sit in the hill comfortably.
They're getting ready for this next overshield that should be coming up in a few moments now, and Neighbor is going to secure that one at the, I want to say the 12:58 mark, so we'll see that in a few minutes once again. And the new hill has emerged as well. Neighbor, he's waiting to see if
he's focused on teammate screens. He's trying to see when and where he can lift up and which way he should be looking, and unfortunately because of that, he was not able to see straight stick right there, which I think obviously Neighbor, had he been paying fully attention on his own screen, he would have been able to like just four-shot that player and at least get a kill before making his way on up towards the lift.
And people at home probably new to Halo 3, probably new to watching competitive Halo, just want to say, like, you want to watch your teammates' screens because you get a lot of information that way. It's very different from online, where in online play you don't really see what your fellow teammates are doing at any point in time. So you get information. Information is king in Halo, and that's what Neighbor was doing. Sometimes, though, too much information can hurt.
Well, here's the thing. The information that someone like Neighbor is looking for in a situation like that is a specific location of a player when he's going up a lift. So, for example, just hearing that there's somebody up open lift, it helps Neighbor first off know that there's a threat up there. However, he wants to know, should he be looking left? Should he be looking right? Should he be looking straight? Because if he's looking left when the player's over on the right side, he could get backsmacked and completely lose that OS. If he's just looking straight, he's now possibly not optimizing at most and gonna take 2 or 3 extra bursts of damage they should not be taking. Yeah. So those are the sort of specific spots players are looking for when you look on someone's screen, because you can't get that specific up there. You can't be like left middle side of 03. Like when these players, when they look on one of their teammates' screens, they see the exact location. They can lift up, they can now look away, and they can know all the possible locations that that player could now have moved on over to or transitioned to from that one spot.
And you speak of locations and also the control, and so far Denial full control on this hill. They've gotten a lot of time, a lot of points. Hill moves down low once again, but the new overshield is up, and guess who gets it? Status Quo. Oh, but the barrel knocks away all of that shield, rendering it useless a little bit because it keeps him alive to be able to win that fight. But when Denial jumps onto that hill, essentially the overshield goes away. Good news is Status Quo, they now have presence there.
Yep, but watch, this is the scrappy hill like I talked about. You saw SQ just grab about 3 or 4 seconds, and watch, now you're going to see Denial try the exact same thing. So Comley's going to take a few shots into him, and once again, hill is stopped for Denial, and Status Quo going to jump back into it. That's how these hills usually go, especially in a neutral scenario. And by neutral, I mean both teams having about equal members on the map and equal power positions on the map.
And another thing I want to highlight here, Dave, and talk about where the spawns in that particular moment, because he, Flamesword, gets into the hill. You have Ace to be above him by the sword, and then you started to see those spawns low, in which case now, you had mentioned about the scrappiness of these hills. You're kind of like preparing for these players to start to rush you, so you're getting as much time as you can while your teammates are just holding up top, because even though the hill's low, top position is still the most important part of the map.
Yes, top position is always one of the most important parts of the map, without a doubt. And when it comes to like scrapping with times, it's just worth it. It's a numbers game. There's no reason just to slay the opposing team over and over again without at least scrapping up some sort of time. And in many cases too, it can also force their hand, force them to push into a different position and engage yourself. So there's lots of reasons why you do want to go for scrappy time, and that's why these teams are going back and forth. And a lot of times, I wasn't paying attention through the ends of each of these hills, because a lot of times what I would do is I would look at the end of the first hill and say, all right, Status Quo maybe wins the scrappy hill by 20 seconds, and then maybe when it goes to one of the setup hills, and oh my God, Neighbor is back. When it comes to one of these setup hills, maybe Denial happens to be the better setup team, and they're the ones that come ahead 20 or 30 seconds. And so it's always interesting to know what team is better when it comes to a setup hill where you're grabbing up large chunks of time versus teams that are better at some of the scrappy hills, and that they're comfortable just trading kill for kill and being a bit more efficient during those trades.
Just got to highlight that straight stick had overshield, went up gold, and then because of a plasma nade, it was gone instantly. I didn't see who placed it, but one has to assume that it is going to be Status Quo, excuse me, that prevented Tracek from being able to use that overshield. Doesn't matter though, because he stays alive, his teammate gets the kill, and they get rockets. They did get more hill time though. Neighbor with the sniper once again. Oh, if he would have hit that, I actually would have walked out of the venue and then went back to my hotel.
Please hit it. Please hit Neighbor then.
Oh, that hurts.
I want him to hit that snipe so bad.
That one hurts. You know, of all the things you could possibly say to me, that one hurts. Right to the core. Well, Status Quo are starting to mount the comeback here, and they're going to have bodies inside of that hill. Let's see if they can come back in this game. Neighbor has the snipe. Players are going to be scattered all around the map. He's just trying to line them up and set them down. And they're going to take this lead at 120, 119. Status Quo right back in this game, Dave.
Yep, just able to tie that one right back up. Unfortunately, Neighbor meeting some resistance, fighting 2 players, but was able to get at least 1 down. However, this is also a very uncomfortable position here for Status Quo. They now no longer have 2 of the 3 I would consider top areas, which you consider closed lift, open lift, and gold. So originally they had 2 of the 3, and now they're back to only 1 of the 3. That's not a comfortable spot to be in.
No, it is not. Shele finds Salt right in front of him. That's going to be a melee. Takes him out of this one. Double kill for Shele onto Neighbor. That's going to keep the top control as the hill moves down low once again.
One thing that's most impressive here from a lot of these players' shots I'm noticing here today compared to like 10 years ago is a lot of great lead shots before a player is rounding a corner. Even from viewing other top BRs back in like 2008, 2010 area, there's a lot of times where they didn't have that perfect lead as they're jumping around the corner, other players trying to get around that geometry and get away. These players just, obviously have mastered a bit of the leading here in Halo 3 VR.
I think that's just because I remember back then, right, on the BNet forums, and everyone, like, they were explaining how the battle rifle works, and, you know, everyone, and of course the MLG forums, and everyone, like, discussing it, and, you know, hit scan versus projectile, blah, 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 blah. And I think it was just one of those things that everyone was just trying to figure out, you know? I mean, the internet wasn't as prominent back then. There wasn't enough footage to watch back then. So everyone's learned so much. Great double kill from Aries, staying alive. And is he able to get out with his life? Yes, he does. So I think it's just the knowledge that players have been able to attain over the years. It's really just been so impressive.
Yeah. It's definitely a potential mix of that because I think there's no denying that the level of execution hasn't really missed a step when it comes to this event. It's not like all these players have sloppy shots and they're missing no scopes and shots. It's like I would argue that the bar is nearly as high, if not higher, than what we saw in like 2000, like I said, 8 to 10 area.
Yeah, the bar is definitely raised. The quality of player is definitely improved, and that is where we are right now with Halo 3 in 2019. It's exciting times, and this game has been very exciting. All tied up 1-1 in the series. Status Quo, Denial, and this game has been back and forth. But Denial have held the lead for the bigger portion of this game. Status Quo managed to come back around that 120 mark, but every single time Status Quo gets that tiny bit of a lead, it's going to be Denial that answers right back, and the hill has moved on the opposite side here.
Yep, so going into this new top hill, it looked like Denial was up by about, let's say, 40 seconds-ish, somewhere around there. Now let's see how this one plays out, because Status Quo is starting off with control here on this open street hill, and they've already closed up 20 of those 40 seconds.
And they have rockets with 2 in the chamber. Denial, they are just moving on forward, pretty much unopposed at this point in time. Aries stays alive. He had the pea shooter in his hand, and that was going to drain all of his shields with a charged up plasma pistol, but he was going to miss that one. Aries, again, this guy, he has been amazing throughout this tournament.
Yeah, Aries taking down Ace in that crazy jump battle there over at Open Hill. That was a massive play. Anytime you get one of those one-kill swings, it just does wonders here, especially on Construct, because it's not the same as just having a one-person advantage and being able to roll that lead like you do on every single map. It's height advantage. It's having top spawns. It's denying the team from having top spawns. There is so many more factors at play compared to just the man advantage.
Look at the pathways you have to take to go to the top. You have 3 lifts that expose you. You have a back ramp that takes freaking forever. There just aren't any real options. And then you have, you know, you can go sword side, and yeah, sure, you know, that's a quicker way to go up, but you expose your back the entire time unless you're looking, don't get great angles. Like, they're just not a lot
great
of
options.
Not great options. Let's give us some more options. Build ladders, not walls. Here's Construct. That's all I'm saying here, Dave. That's all I'm saying. Back to the action now. Status Quo. They managed to get control of the top hill. See if they can get some more time out of this, but it has not been looking good thus far. And Denial, 25 points away from closing this one out and taking the lead in the series.
Okay, so now let's break down this last scenario. So obviously, Status Quo started off with control at top hill. They closed off about those 20 seconds. So let's say even ignoring that scenario, I would argue that Denial kind of came out ahead over in that top control, over in that top hill. I would say gaining about 30 seconds over in that top one. So now let's see who comes out ahead here in the Scrappy Hill, because already Status Quo have closed that near 50-point-ish gap.
And we're getting into real danger zone here because time is ticking, and it could become mathematically impossible at a certain point if it had gotten, you know, too far apart for Status Quo to be able to catch up. But Denial, just 10 points away. They're going to have rockets. They're going to have Straight Sick patrolling around here. No one's going to be in the hill right now. Straight Sick just holds back.
High. Like, I don't even know if I would sit down here in this situation. At this point, it's kind of their game to lose if Straight Sick does not lose his rockets. Obviously, he seems like he executes and gets that fine. However, I would have probably played it a bit more safe. Like, maybe just go lift up gold or something. Just get somewhere way up high and get away.
Big win. Big win from Kamali is going to keep them in this game, and that's going to give them the lead. 250-205, shutting it down. Denial take the lead.
Yeah, they are just looking real strong here. So, despite Status Quo coming out strong in game 1 and putting on a show, it's been Denial from here on out. I don't know if Status Quo can bounce back from this, because just these last 2 games alone, it was a clear victor.
A +6 KD for Ace. He had 26 and 20. Really, everyone in Denial. Shele, we really haven't talked a lot about Shele at all. The fresh face here for Denial, and he's been just so great every single day and every single game that Denial has played, Shele has been impressive.
Is his actual name Shele?
I'm going to go with it.
I'm going to say it is too. Yeah.
Shele?
Shele.
I'm going to assume it's Shele. Yeah, I remember it being Shele. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Or is that why you haven't been talking about him, Dave? Because you don't know how to say his name.
I don't know what his actual first name is.
Tell me the truth. His name's Jimmy. Just assuming. I actually have no idea. I just made a very bold assumption there. But here's some replays now from this game. And if you're just joining us, Status Quo, they go down in this series against Denial. Denial up 2-1. Construct, King of the Hill, going to Denial, and they held the lead for such a strong part of this game.
Yeah, they were just looking strong all throughout it. I mean, there's a few moments in there where Status Quo were looking like they had a strong position, like right here at the start of this this hill. They had top control. They had rockets. Like, look at how differently that could have played had the rockets been out and ready to take out that overshield.
Such a great play.
And even right there, Aries just getting that back smack over on Ace on that side. So a lot of things went right for Denial. They're breaking that setup. So huge props to them for, like, Construct is one of the most frustrating steps to break. I would say Construct and Guardian steps are the toughest ones to break against teams that are coordinated. And Denial just showing to Status Quo that they can break their steps when they need to.
Denial's coordination is certainly something to marvel at. They've been doing it against Victoria's Secret. They did it against Wrath. They almost made it look easy. In a squad like Status Quo that loves to coordinate, that loves to control the pace of the game, and then you have strong Slayers on Status Quo to shut them down the way that they've been doing. Again, I was talking to Snakebite out in the crowd, and I asked him, I was like, thoughts on Denial? How do you feel about this team? And he straight up was like, dude, they're nasty. Like, this is a good team. Top 4 is realistic for them if they keep playing like this. And if Snakebite's saying that,
he's usually pretty matter-of-factly because, like, a lot of times, like, yeah, we're going to, we expect to take top 2 here. We expect to win, and that's our stuff. And then anytime he's crediting teams, like, they have a chance of beating us. It's like, yeah, he's talking about Splice back then. And it's, he's always he's spitting the truth.
Maybe West was right after all. Maybe they were playing on alternate accounts. Yeah. I don't know. Is this? I have to just accept that West may be right, and they were playing on alternate accounts, and that's why he lost that one Pit Team Slayer game at 3:30 in the morning. I don't know. We'll never know. Honestly, could just be West making it up, right?
That's most likely.
That's the most likely scenario. West is over there. He's going to punch me in the head. I'm fairly certain that that's going to happen, and it's going to hurt. But what's hurt so far has been Status Quo falling in this series 2-1. You like that transition? It's great, Dave. I know you appreciate it. I appreciate it as well. We're going to Pit, capture the flag, and looking at what happened before. Once power weapons started to come into play, power-ups, it became a different story here.
Yeah. Last time when we saw 2 snipers squaring off, we saw Denial winning 2 out of 2 of those engagements. And it's, I would say, an even bigger deal on Pit because that's going to lead to a team getting your opposing snipe hut, and that's where trouble starts to set in for a team getting spawn trapped at their base.
That Construct game, for those of you guys, was 250, who may not know, 250 to 205, I believe, 205. But we do know that one team had to obtain 250 points in order for the game to be over. There you go. I was right. Look at that. I'm a genius. Walshy.
No denying that.
Don't deny me that, right? Because, fitting the Denial pun in there, I'm awful, and I know everyone on the internet hates me. Okay, here we go. Pit, capture the flag. Let's see if Status Quo can bounce back and bring this to a hectic, amplified Team Slayer, or will Denial shut them down and move on in the bracket? Let's get it on and see how this plays out. Because I'm excited. I'm excited.
Relinquishing snipe to, I'm assuming Ace. Assuming Ace gets sniped this time. And let's see how this one pays off. Looks like
you're right.
Assault is going to get the first OS. Ace has first sniper. I didn't see if anyone really got sniped from the Denial side.
No, Neighbor has it.
So Neighbor did an instant flank all the way through. So both, I guess you could say I'm absolutely right there because I said Ace or Neighbor, and in fact, both were true.
You're doubly right, Dave. You're doubly right, and I'm so proud of you. Neighbor's going to prompt this pull here. He's going to have no shield, so he needs to stay alive. And Ace is going to support him with that sniper. Shields recharge. They have the snipe looking at all the angles that they need. This is a clean cap.
And you can tell it's a brand new year. I mean, Neighbors touched the flag. I don't think that was something you saw much back in the day. Neighbor, in fact, run that one all the way
all
back.
the
So
way
such
back.
a brilliant play by Neighbor.
So selfless of Mason.
Huge play. I mean, like, honestly, he pushed through bridge, laid on the shots there, swooped on through, got that snipe, and instead of, like, camping over towards top snipe turret, which is the safe play, the safest play would have been getting on top of the snipe, denial snipe turret, and laying down fire, just getting some control, and then with your teammates pull the flag. But Neighbor saw an opportunity, and he took it.
But I also like, too, how he played that, because he had no shields when he pulled that flag. And then you had Ace, who was over by that ramp, by the second BR ramp, that was covering his back, right? He was able to take out a player that was pushing out of the base, and that kind of just stopped any kind of opportunity for Denial to prevent this flag from being captured. Mason was able to take his time, Neighbor took his time, and then he goes in there and brings one home for status quo.
Brings one home for status quo. That was interesting. Also push from Neighbor there. Looks like he felt like they had numbers and could start that push over through green side, but were met by a couple members of Denial when I think he thought there was only one at their green. I think if he knew that the stakes were a little bit more even, he may have stepped back, but either way, I'm really liking this aggression from Neighbor in certain situations. He's doing a great job of creating opportunities for his team. And look at this, Flamesword, one of those playmakers here for status quo. Flanks all the way through and gets the flagpole. Unfortunately, a member from Denial spawns over at Needler. However, that's one of those risks you have to take. In many cases, there's going to be a time where someone on the opposing team dies, and you get to their flag, and you are going to just play the odds. You're going to say, hey, guess what? 7 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, this player's going to spawn Fort, and they're not going to be able to stop me. These other 2 or 3 out of 10 times, they're going to spawn Needler, and they're probably going to kill me. But it's more of a, you play those odds, like, guess what? Yeah, 70% of the time, I'll take a flag cap versus just sitting back and hoping that we get another round of plays.
Can we just talk about Heretic, by the way? He's hot off of a triple kill. He is on a killing spree. His teammates are collapsing on the objective. Heretic, you know, he's been playing so well. This man deserves so much credit because he's just been so good all weekend.
Yeah, but look at also this difference in playstyle. Like I said before, playing at the opposing top snipe turret with snipe is the safer play to do just because you're in a stronger position and you will be safer at getting slays. However, we've been seeing most of the time when status quo has been pushing over towards the Denial base, they've just kind of been skipping that step. They've been more confident in their ability just to push straight into the flag plat and get a pull.
Oh, and Neighbor stays alive because Ace had his back there. Commonly had rockets and made him just weak. No shields. He stays alive with the sniper in hand. Aries has it as well. Can he get it? Yes, Neighbor nails Aries, who has that sniper right across from them. And now we're going to start to see status quo establish some control here on the pit.
I like this. Just use his BR. I believe he only has 1 bullet left and realized that he could just, help the BR first and now put some pressure over towards that weapon. Unfortunately, just hitting some weird angles here from Heretic, and now is going to put himself in position to do or die or reposition, and decides to reposition over towards his own screen. I like that play. I don't know where those plasma grenades came from. That was a bit surprising.
Oh, and he baited the player's Ace into that overshield. He waited for that prime opportunity to go and pick it up, and then he was able to eliminate a player right away. Following up with another one. That's going to be a kill on Commonly. Has to reload, but he has the shield, and he has his teammates for help, and that's the double kill. Doesn't get that triple. The squad is now starting to move on through from long haul.
And they're in a really good position right now. They can keep flying as long as they start to block these smaller spawns, but it looks like a couple players continue to spawn there. Had they gotten like one more slay a little bit earlier and pushed a bit more into that Needler pit a bit earlier, they could have forced some negativity in the area and stopped them from spawning in that spot. But sometimes once they start spawning, they don't stop. So had whole point being that had status quo started to get Denial to spawn in the courtyard, they were in prime position
Small
to get
details.
Up. Yeah, just those
Small details, because the reason why was because those players were down. They were dead, so they were coming through the long haul, and they were trying to get there as quickly as they could, but they didn't have an option.
They weren't quick enough. Also, those members from Denial put a good pressure on that long haul and put pressure on that choke point before they were able to kind of disperse and spread out a little bit more.
But that was a wonderful hero play from Ace as well. Nice shot, Shele. He left the modem at home. He's on land, baby, and he's destroying people. Commonly He's got the flag and the cap. We're all tied up here, folks. 1-1.
And despite nearly 5 minutes of dominance and status quo controlling the side of the map, pushing on the opposite side of the map, just like that, Denial flips the switch, gets control, gets some slays, and are moving a second flag across the map.
All the players are going to be right behind Straight.
I like that play.
Call. He made the call. He got them some vision. Commonly gets a double kill. That player's going to be stuck in the needles. He sees that flag. And that's going to be okay because his squad member is there for the pickup. Flag is moving.
No stopping
it's
this
on
one.
the platform, and commonly, once again, it's like deja vu. He had the sniper rifle the first time he capped it, and he gets it again. That's 2 on the board. 1 more. And Denial, they're moving on. Status Quo, they're going to take a trip to that lower bracket.
That's got to be disheartening for Status Quo. Just a couple mistakes there, and 1 full setup from Denial. And they reap the benefits of those rewards. So you can kind of tell Denial, they're more opting for that slay setup. They're hoping to get a few slays, get some more control before pulling that flag, whereas Status Quo in a couple instances, they've been, I don't want to say prematurely pulling the flag, but they're opting to grab a scrappy cap. They're happy to get a slay, push on through, hope for a situation where the player will spawn Court versus Needle and get that pull started.
Denial now on the push. It's all about shutting down that corner there and, you know, not letting anyone from Status Quo get through. He has those rockets so he can just eliminate them right away, and then he rotates all the way around.
Quickly, too. That's the key part, is he's not just wasting time partially watching his green or watching his long haul. He instantly runs straight over towards training. Because a lot of times you start to hear call, you hear, oh, this person, you know, rockets over their needler pit. And when a player hears that, their first thought isn't, oh, 5 seconds later they could be over to training/bridge. They're just more so saying, all right, that call out doesn't really pertain to me. That's all the way opposite corner of the map. I don't need to worry about it. Yeah, and then 5 seconds later it's like, oh wow, that player rotated instantly to this position.
Got to listen to your call outs. You need to be aware of where these power weapons are at all times. Nice shot from Straight Sick. Instantly zooms in. Shuts down Neighbor. Great nade as well. Ace having to back away. He's just making everyone one shot, and that's just forcing everyone to just play back, right? They're one shot, himself included, so things slow down here. Straight Sick, though. They know that that sniper rifle is going to be there, and he was stuck. He didn't have many areas to go to that would have exposed him and then lose that sniper.
Yeah, he had some options to leave a little bit earlier if he wanted to. At the point when he got 2 players
there was
for
a
1 shot, and yeah, he kind of stayed there long enough and decided to hold his ground and see if his teammates could help him out in that scenario. So that's, you know, a tough decision to make, because a lot of times once you take up that ground on the opposing side of the map, it's really tough to know when to back down, when to revert, when to go away. And in most cases, more often than not, a lot of times the safe play or the correct play is to continue to hold that ground and continue to take up ground. That was always one of my biggest mistakes I felt like when I played, is I didn't know when to push back a bit. I always pushed on up, always tried to take more and more and got a little greedy.
Oh, Dave. You being greedy? No. that can't be. But I want to just highlight this real fast. Ace gets the custom again, overshield one more time. That leads to Status Quo being able to get inside of the Denial base.
Oh, he was setting up an
oh! Aries! You gotta, there's not much you can do. I feel bad. And you walk away without your face, fam.
First off, he tries to set the insta by throwing that grenade high up on the first BR, and then realizes he doesn't even have the second one and just decides to go for the no-scope.
But makes the play anyway.
Disgusting,
right?
Yes.
Insta headshot. More like double kill for Ace. Now, though, Shele, you go over to him. And there's the rockets from Assault right away. And things slow down as Assault sees these spawns and reacts, has to make a decision right away.
He got back there real quick. Assault must have spawned at his needler, and that is a very fortunate spawn to have when your team is on the offensive. It's one of actually the best spawns you can have, because you can instantly push through long haul, be a factor with that flag cap. Whereas in situations when you spawn towards your courtyard or such, you're out of that play. You're relying on your teammates to win that battle 3v4 because you are a non-factor for a good 10 seconds so you can get towards the bridge.
So Flamesword is going to be playing in the Denial snipe hunt here, and that is pulling a lot of attention over to him. He's staying alive. They know that he's going to be there, and if they push, they have to take him out. They can't leave him there. So that should give Status Quo time to be able to move. But then Straight Sick, he's on the other side of the map. He's looking to make this end. He's looking to end it right here, right now.
I like that play a lot. So what now decided to do in that situation was, first off, they wanted to deal with that threat of Flamesword. However, since that was going to draw so many members back, they decided to send one person to long haul and see if they can get some sort of sneaky pull or flag grab, and that's exactly what Straight
And
did.
they got the sniper out of it. Both snipes are out, and the status quo sniper is in the hands of Straight Sick. He's been able to bring this one all the way around, and that is going to do it. GG Denial.